Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got a historical, absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. And I don't know if many of you all watched the movie Amistad, but if you didn't, you're going to want to watch it. And I tell you what, I'm not going to give away too much of it right now until we get the radio, television, and everything locked in. But you in for a treat. So grab you about 8-9 bags of popcorn because you at the movies. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, We're here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, visiting family and friends, but we're having a really good time. And yes, we've had this guest on the show before. An hour wasn't enough to do him justice. So we're really interested to hear about more of this educational that we want to provide to the audience.
Yeah. So I tell you, it's going to be wonderful. Because a lot of things I feel that he's going to talk about today, we're kind of going back through it again. And I'm not going to give it away until we lock everything in: television, radio, all the live streaming, 68 different platforms. How you doing today, Todd? How you doing, man?
I'm always good. I'm looking forward to today's show. And you ready to lock in the radio station?
Man, I'm ready to lock it in, Todd. Nice. I'm ready to lock it in.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Wow. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know I am. Me and Michelle, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll tell you, old, beautiful Atlanta, always 2 hours away from my hometown, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it's absolutely fantastic being back home. I call Atlanta home as well. But Chattanooga 2 hours away. And Michelle got a lot of family up here, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a little history. We're going to educate. I said educate our viewers out there on a lot of different things that happen and rehappen. We're talking about, and I'll give you a little bit of it. I know slavery, the freed slaves in captivity happened in Can you imagine yourself being freed and then being recaptured again and have to fight for your freedom again? That's what we're gonna talk about today. So hey, Dr. Cooley, how you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. And you said it all, you summarized it all. But we'll have our guest today who's going to go a little bit more into detail regarding the topic, which I'm getting ready to address with the audience.
Well, I'll tell you what, whichever platform that you are watching us on, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. We'll get you an answer, or pick up the phone and dial KCBQ AM 1170 answer at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. And like I was saying in the green room right before we locked everything in, you might want to get you about 8-9 bags of popcorn because you're going to the movies. So Michelle, with that being said, can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this magnificent guest?
Well, yes, the title of today's show is Renewal of Our Faith, Knowledge, and Actions for Our Collective Good. And this is an interesting title because it encompasses so much. And Dr. James J.C. Cooley mentioned the story about the Amistad. So we're going to talk to the guests about it, about what's going on today. So we're having a sit-down discussion with Dr. Samuel H.P., the educator, author, developer of public health community projects, and volunteer instructor, member of the United States Foreign Services. He's going to talk about partnerships for win-win outcome. He's going to talk about the story about the Amistad and the things associated with it that's going on today. He's talking about practices of behaviors that are beneficial to our collective good, inviting all listeners to reflect on the Amistad history and consider visiting Sierra Leone, the home of the Amistad Returnees and other repatriated Africans from UK, USA, and Caribbean. Dr. Samuel H. Pieh is a recent graduate of the Trinity International University of Ambassadors with an honorary doctorate and lifetime achievement award certificate from President Biden's White House in June 2024. He was born and raised in Sierra Leone until his graduation from high school, the Albert Academy, a school built by American missionaries in 1904. He relocated to the USA where he completed undergraduate and graduate education in biological sciences and public health. He was an outstanding defensive back for the Lancers soccer team at Grace College and so much more. Him and his wife, Dr. Clara, relocated in Sierra Leone in a son in 1980 to help support his parents who had served the American Missionary Churches Institution for decades. There's so much to talk to this guest about his background. We're going to let him do it. Please welcome back to the show, Dr. Samuel Pieh.
How you doing, my brother?
My brother James Cooley, my sister Michelle Cooley. It's a real pleasure to see your face and to interact with you today. Thank you very much for this.
Man, it's always a pleasure chatting with you and seeing you in person, man. I can't wait till we can all hook up again and Michelle get a chance to meet Claire. And man, I'm excited about the story today because you are a descendant, the great grandson of a lot of things that happened a while back, just like I mentioned, being freed and getting recaptured and sold back into slavery again. We are going to educate the public that can happen. So, hey, Dr. Samuel, first thing, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what makes you passionate about what you're doing, why this story need to be heard by everybody?
Brother Cooley, I am so grateful and thankful to the Almighty God, the Spirit of God, that even helped me to be connected with you and Michelle and your radio program, and to even be connected to Brother Todd today, the man in charge of the radio. God is powerful, God is wonderful, God is invisible, but you can feel God anywhere, anytime. I know that I am made in the Spirit of God, and I know that my parents played a very significant role in bringing me up. They taught me the Word of God, the Bible, and I really saw how God worked miracles in the lives of people in the lives of Samuel, in the lives of Joseph, in the lives of a lot of people who did not even deserve what we needed to have. And when I reflect on the messages in the Bible, and I reflect on what my journey has been from birth, going to school in Sierra Leone, West Africa, and living with my uncles and the aunties to house me, to support me while I was going through high school. And for a doctor, a retired missionary doctor, Dr. Charles Leader, and his wife, Bertha, to invite my father to send one of his children to come and live with them and go to school. For me to come to Indiana, in Winona Lake, Indiana, to live with a missionary couple who had served in Africa for 20 years. And for me to be selected to play on the soccer team as a defensive back. Nobody selected me on soccer team in Sierra Leone, but I became a star in the United States of America. I look at going through that and finishing school, and God sent me back to Mississippi for the first time to develop public health program at an HBCU school, Mississippi Valley State University. And that's where I met my darling, my loving wife, Clara. Clara belongs to a family they call Mixing Brown family. They are very diverse. We have family reunions every year. And believe me, one of the things that they say, during our family meetings is that our connection to our heritage is a bridge to our history and our life. And I experience that each time we meet as a family of Mixing Brown family. And the peers also have started having annual reunions. There's so much we learn by just interacting with each other and to see how God has brought us this far. Brother Cooley, there are people who have come to my life, through my life, that I never expected. For example, how did I meet Reverend Eustace Renner, one of the first Sierra Leoneans who were trained as doctors of religion, who came back to Sierra Leone, and somehow he picked me up after high school, say, hey, come and take care of the housing facilities for training pastors. And I was in charge of food, preparation of purchase and preparation of food, and I accommodated them. From there, I went with him to his wife's mother's funeral in Sebema. I had never driven a car, but he was so frustrated, he was so tired. He gave me his vehicle to drive him and his family from Sebema to Bo in Sierra Leone. That's a miracle. How I did it, only God can tell me. And Reverend Renner, when my wife and I returned to Sierra Leone to take care of my parents, he drove and met me in Moyamba and said, Samuel, you have done well, but I want you to come and work with the churches of Sierra Leone and the Muslims to help them to work together and do development work. And that was also a direction and support from God, the Holy Spirit, the Father of all of us. Then an American missionary from Illinois, Naperville, Dr. and Mrs. Howard Mueller, came to Sierra Leone when I was at a high school in Freetown, the first American high school that was built in 1904, Albert Academy. And he was teaching religious education, Bible studies. We got so close. They used to leave me in their home with their daughter to babysit for them when they went for business meetings and whatnot. And when I came to the US, he invited me to be a guest speaker at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois, to tell them about the perceptions of religion in Africa and to tell them about my own personal journey. Anyway, to stop there, let me just say, I was in a research lab in New Orleans at the Amistad Research Center, trying to connect the dots.
Hold that thought, because we got to take a station break. But when we come back, we're going to talk all Amistad.
Okay.
And we're going to educate the world on what that really means, what it's like to be free, and what it's like to be recaptured and sold again. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to that platform and just ask any question that you might in the comments, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's.
Hey, 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 hey. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. Hey.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
And enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and wow, I tell you what, we can really talk about Amistad, and we're going to talk about this great man, great grandfather. We're going to talk about how the story came about, and I'm going to show you a quick documentary, and then we're going to go off into this. But I'm going to correct one thing. I know Dr. Samuel said Todd was the manager, general manager. Now Todd is my producer. He's the producer. I mean, he runs everything as it relates to this show. You know what I'm talking about, Todd, right?
Yes, I'm actually the assistant operations manager.
Yes.
All right, brother Todd.
But he is the man. When it comes to my show, he is the man.
That's great.
I want to pick it back up. First of all, Samuel, can you tell our viewers and listeners 2 minutes or less, because I want to show the documentary, what is Amistad and why did it come to existence and why it's so important that this message be shared with everyone?
The Amistad is full of misunderstanding, misnomer, because in the southern world, Amistad means friendship. But the irony here is that why would you use a friendship boat to dehumanize other human beings, other children of God? But God being who he is, he used the Amistad to bring diverse group of people who formed the abolitionist movement in the United States. People were different, but they knew that, or they sensed that there was a lot of injustice. There was very much evil that was playing against some of the people's mind to treat the Africans in such a way that they themselves, if they were enlightened, would not be pleased to be treated like that.
Wow. In some cases, the circle of life recreates itself over and over again. But I tell you what, I want to show a quick 3 minutes and 30-second documentary so our viewers and listeners out there can get a better understanding of what we're getting ready to talk about. Here we go.
Debbie Allen is an award-winning actress, dancer, and choreographer. She is also the producer of the movie Amistad, directed by Steven Spielberg.
I had graduated from Howard University, and I didn't know the story of the Amistad. It was never taught to me in any classroom of history or literature or anything. I read this story and I wept. I was like, when did this happen? How do I not know this? So I was determined to make the movie.
Samuel Pieh is the great-great-grandson of Sangbe Pieh, who in 1839 led a revolt aboard the Amistad and challenged slavery in the American courts. The determination to win their freedom led Sangbe Pieh and the other Amistad captives, with the support of American abolitionists, to take their fight to the Supreme Court in February 1841. They hired a former American president as their star attorney, John Quincy Adams.
John Quincy Adams made the argument before the Supreme Court that whatever the status of that ship, these people deserved their freedom based on natural rights, on the rights they were born with. The majority on that court were justices who were themselves either slaveholders or pro-slavery in their sentiments. But nevertheless, they voted 7-1 to free the Amistad captives. It is an important historical moment when Americans got a lesson in morality. They got a lesson in the good and evil on both sides of this story.
New Haven, Daily Herald, March 12th, 1841, and I quote, "Negroes of the Amistad, these gentlemen were informed immediately yesterday of the decision of the Great Court that they were to be set at liberty."
That must have been the best news that Samuel Pieh could have heard. He could not speak as much English, but in that Supreme Court, he was able to just burst into joy. The rest of the Africans in the court started singing, "We are going back home. Thank God we are going back home."
The greatest impact in that whole story is that it only takes one person to change a sensibility of a court, of a nation. Sangbe pried that nail out of the wood of that boat, picked himself free of those chains, freed the other captives. He was a man who had a wife and 3 children, and he was justified by any means necessary to get back to his family.
Wow, Samuel, man, your great-grandfather was a very, very strong man to have gone through that twice and then able to, secure freedom again. Can you tell our viewers and listeners why that was so important to you to share that story, and even with Debbie Allen and Steven Spielberg and all of the other folks that you work with in order to get your grandfather's story out there?
Dr. Cooley, things don't happen just for happening sake. A lot of times, the intervention of God, Spirit, can lead you to do things that are right. Like I said earlier, I went to the Amistad Research Center to find more information to write about my family history. And while I was there, Debbie Allen called the Amistad Center in New Orleans, asking whether there has been anybody from Sierra Leone or any information they have about the Amistad. And I was there at that particular moment, and they let me talk to Debbie Allen. The rest became history that is transformed and put on stage. So the power of God is there. And if you just believe in the power of God and being there at the right time at the right place, God can use you to transform life. And from that point on, Debbie wrote to me to come to California to help her and Steven Spielberg to produce the movie. Initially, I was a language coach for the girls to teach them English. And then later on, Steven Spielberg gave me the screen actor privileges to be the elder of the captives, both in the prison and in the Supreme Court scene. Again, my experience at home in Sierra Leone, where I was growing up, my mother was a Muslim. She married my dad, who was a Christian. How they made it, the present world will not understand that when you think of the hate between the Muslims and the Christians. But my parents lived together and raised 9 children, 7 boys and 2 girls. We grew up, fortunately or unfortunately, all of us are in the US. And we continue to make an impact. But I thank God that it seems like God is leading me in the right direction. Meeting Cornelius Jones, who worked with the Amistad replica. He provided gas. And then they introduced me to Lisa Acroni and Dr. Sunshine. And then they linked me to you, Dr. Cooley. How we met alone is the power of God. How we have met your wife. And when I read the background of your wife and yourself, both of you with doctorate, I mean, my wife has a doctorate in nursing. And she admires you so much that she's hoping that we will meet as 2 couples who are really committed to the Word of God, who are committed to the transformation of our society, so that we can live as brothers and sisters in spite of the differences that are visible to the eye, the naked eye.
Dr. Samuel, when you participated in the making of this movie and meeting with the people who wanted to bring it to light, to educate the audience, were there things that you learned about just the history of the Amistad that you personally were not aware of until you became a part of this amazing story and bringing it to light to the audience? Were there things you became aware of and you were just surprised? Can you kind of tell the audience about that?
I was surprised, but I was excited when I learned the role of diverse group of people whose background, physical background, attitudinal background were so diverse, but yet they were able to come together. The world is full of diverse attitudes, diverse knowledge, But until we harvest the synergy that comes with your knowledge and your attitude, we are not going to make positive transformation in society.
You are absolutely right about that, because attitude is everything. And we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back. We're going to pick it up because we got a lot more that we're going to discuss. And I tell you what, we're talking to my great friend here, Dr. Samuel Pierce. And we're talking about the renewing of our faith, knowledge, and actions for our collective goods. But we're also talking about his great grandfather, who led this freedom to where they was captured, and had to fight for their freedom again. And sometimes we have to do that ourselves. But I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Country boy, city boy, a journey that ain't over yet.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Destination. Country boy, city boy, a journey that ain't over yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James.
Wow. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm here talking to my very, very good friend, Dr. Samuel H. Pierce. And I tell you, every time I get an opportunity to talk to this young man, I can call him that because he's a little younger than me, that he educates me and inspires me. And most importantly, he's a man of God, a man of faith.
Yes.
And many times that's what gets us through the door every day, even when tragedies or unforeseen circumstances come our way. As long as we believe in high power, or we can get through there. But Todd, at every third segment, I got to I got to get a grade from you. You got to let me know what you're thinking. You got to let me know if this topic is doing it.
Yeah, great show. What Dr. Samuel is talking about. I mean, it's very profound. This story of Amistad and the human perseverance, the spirit, and just getting through it. It's amazing, and I can't wait to get right back to it and hear and learn a little bit more.
Let's do that. But our viewers and listeners out there, so the title of today's show is Renewing Our Faith, Knowledge, and Actions for Our Collective Goods. And what I believe that means is sometimes we have to look deep down inside of us in order to figure out what we are here for, what our purpose is. And a lot of times, just like I mentioned, we go through trials and errors. But in Dr. Samuel's case, he knew in his heart that he had to get a little bit more history on his great great grandfather to really know what his purpose is on this great planet, and also share the message, because that's how others learn, is when we share the message. And when you're a believer and you truly believe in your conviction on whatever that might means, and it's truth to you, you're going to do everything you can to make this a more imperfect union. So, Dr. Samuel, so the trying of our faith is always tough because of a lot of these things. But many of us look back and we ask for pity or whatever. Uh, uh, I'm in this situation. I don't know why I am. Sometimes I believe we just have to endure it and figure out what God is telling us. So my question to you is, how does fostering empathy and understanding among diverse groups benefit the collective goods of others? Because when we all, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, pink, gold, purple, religion, whatever, we are God's children. And we all have to share, we have to live together. And I hope that we'll be able to communicate together and put our differences to the side. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Brother Cooley, a lot of us in America or in the global community read the Bible or we go to church. It's very important to us. But it seems like we overlook the foundations of God's influence in world affairs. We overlook the power that God can use to transform other people and ourselves. For example, when I started teaching at Southwest Community College, this is the award some students and faculty decided to give to me. I didn't know why they were giving me this title, a title of Carter G. Woodson. I don't know how many of the people have read about Carter G. Woodson. I never heard of Carter G. Woodson in Africa. But while I was here, based on the people that I worked with, what I did in Mississippi and what I did in Tennessee, decided to offer me that award. Charles Goodwin Woodson was an American historian, author, journalist, and the founder of the Association of the Study of African American Life and History. Actually, he was the one that helped lay the foundation for us to currently honor Black History Month. Well, again, whether you call it Black History Month or African American History Month, that's left with the individual. But for me, I really feel you are African. We are Africans. Those that are Europeans are Europeans. It shouldn't affect how we treat each other, how we honor each other, how we serve each other, if we really believe in God. So from that point, even in Sierra Leone, we have had over 10 leaders, 10 governments in Sierra Leone, from Albert Magai to present-day President Bio, over 10, 20 years. It is only in 2019, during the leadership of President Bio, that he decided to recognize our family, and they offered me the award, Lifetime Award, in 2019. So it's God. When God's time comes, it will happen. And sometimes we are just slow or not quite ready to listen to what God has in store for us. There's a couple, European couple in Illinois, Dr. and Mrs. Howard Mueller. They taught in Sierra Leone as missionaries, and then when they came back, I came, and they invited me to speak at their university, North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. It's God's own world. God has made us all. We can transform each other and transform the world around us. And so my plea to listeners, really, when I even listen just to your own commitments and your own emphasis on the power of God, the power of attitude, the power of collaborative spirit, we need this to make America even a greater country than it has ever been. And we have come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. So
we have come a long way, got a long way to go. But, the message, I believe, Dr. Samuel, is unity and bringing that together. And I always mention differences, right? Mm-hmm. We need to put our differences to the side.
Yes.
And work for a more common union.
Yes.
What I mean by that is, we all got to live together. All of this, I'm better than you, you better than me, because you got more money than me and more educated than you. All that's stupid. We put all our gifts and talents together, and we try to create and educate others to do the same. Hey, Dr. Sam, we got to take a station break, but we're going to come back because your message and the things that you stand for, which I know, and the things that your great-great-great-grandfather fought for to ensure that, hey, we had this taken away, and I got this conviction that I'm willing to die for whatever I had to do to make sure that the generations to come will have an opportunity. Tell you what, we're going to take a station break. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, or pick up the phone and call the radio station, KCBQ, AM 1170 Answer, FM 96.1. My piece was syndicated on them Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, where we bring great guests like we got Samuel here today. And so if you want to be part of the conversation, just go to it, ask any question that you might have, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. Remember, it's your life, and we'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's point of view.
Doctor, James, J.C. Cooley, James, Cooley, show. It's your life.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, the true life coming of age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley.
Wow. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. This segment is dedicated to Rosati Pizza Pub, Temecula. I tell you, I just left there last week, and the owner, Steve Silas, came by my house. The owner of Rosati Pizza Pub hooked me up with his cheesesteak, his deep dish pizza. It's just delicious. If you're in Temecula and you visit now, we got 63 wineries. You visit that, when you leave the wineries, you're gonna be pretty much hungry. All you have to do is just go by Rosati Pizza Pub, also off Rancho, California, and tell Steve and Angie that I sent you there. I don't know, it might be a surprise for you, but that pizza, you're gonna want to go back every time you taste it.
I don't remember you bringing any back home to Texas. I'm a little confused. Did you eat it before you came back?
I ate it all. I brought you one on the plane, baby, but it didn't even make it home.
Mm-hmm. The whole pizza, huh?
The whole pizza. But if they're ever in Temecula, go by Rosati Pizza Pub. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a few people that's watching, and they have had an opportunity to comment, but they haven't. We got Dr. Micah Pierce. We got Aha, I think that's Talala, Mr. Aha. I ain't getting the names right, but Dr. Sam, you see what I see. Can you give all of them a shout out?
Yes. Dr. Michael Pieh is my younger brother. He's a medical doctor at Bowman Hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And Alhaji Tarawali is doing his doctorate in California. He's a Sierra Leonean. He's a TV expert in Sierra Leone. He was one of those that honored me in 2019 by the president and the Minister of Tourism and Culture. And all of you, I'm glad that you are calling. Wow. Make your comments, text.
We see them on here, but they might be a little nervous. But I tell you what, this is such great. I'm turning back over to Michelle. We got 5 minutes left in the show. Michelle, you got it.
Oh, yes. I have to have just one question before I turn it over to James. Is Dr. Samuel I know I asked you before, what did you learn about your history being a part of this movie? But I'm asking you, how has this changed you as a person? I mean, you continue to do such amazing things to give back and educate, but how has this changed you as an individual, and in what ways has it changed you that you didn't even aware that this could change you the way it has, if I'm making sense?
Well, I mean, it's a miracle, Dr. Cooley, Dr. Michelle Cooley. But I give thanks to my parents, the teaching, in our home every day in Tayama or in Bauya or in Njama, wherever our parents were transferred. Every morning, everybody wakes up, we have to go for prayers. And we read the Bible and we sing a song before we go out to do anything. Like I said, the difference between my mother and my father, how they were able to collaborate, a Muslim woman and a Christian woman, a pastor at that, although the outside world were not too favorably. In fact, when they made the first African bishop in Sierra Leone, he recommended my dad to take over from him. And there was a lot of opposition. But at the end of the day, by the grace of God, my father was promoted to serve in the biggest American Methodist church in Tayama, the cathedral in the bush. So I have seen a lot of miraculous things happen. And I just really think God's time is the best. The fact that through Dr. Cooley and others, for me to be given the honorary doctorate degree in June, and also for President Biden and his cabinet to recognize me, that is only through the power and the grace of God. And luckily, I have a wife who is committed, who is supportive. And our 4 boys, they're all grown men now. They are in their own families, but they also respect and honor what we're trying to do. Hopefully, they will also follow suit and do their own thing in their own way to make sure that there's harmony, collaboration, cooperation for our collective good.
I want to say one thing, that you wasn't given anything, you earned it. You earned my respect. You earn our faculty respect, and we honor great people like you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I want to thank you, my friend. You deserve everything. All of those things, you deserve that. That was not given to you. It takes a special person in order to share their heart and dedicate their lives to the betterment of others. And you and Claire are special. I know you more than I know her, but if she behind you, I know she got your back, because I have talked to her a couple of times. She got you and you got her. You know what, my friend? I want to thank you so much for taking time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. You are incredible. Your family legacy, your great-great-grandfather, all the things that he did is incredible. You teaching your 4 boys and encouraging them to be their own man and go out and in pursuit of happiness. So I want to thank you so much. Please give Claire a hug and kiss for me and tell her I said thank you. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely wonderful show. I'd like to thank my producer at KCBQ, Todd Pirate. I tell you, that guy right there is incredible. Been with me almost 6 years now. And most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we bring great, great heroes like we got with Samuel here. Tell you what, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's Your Life. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Cooley, Joe. It's your.
Attention San Diego County residents. This summer, energy costs are set to hit an all-time